And then there was a 10-page test. No, not. Anyway, I get to talk to you today about Gingerbread Village. I know you've learned a lot about all of the other presentations from the other presentations that we've had. And it's my pleasure to take you down this memory lane on a visit to very favorite fundraiser of the past, Gingerbread Village. And I want to begin the journey by sharing a few facts about Gingerbread Village, and at the same time, sharing the plethora of pictures that we have in the archives. I want to thank Janet for the work that she has done, Janet Smith, in researching and looking this stuff up for us. She just kind of handed it off and we then make a presentation. She said there were 500 pictures of Gingerbread Village. So unfortunately, we don't have enough time. I can't show you those all. Yeah. But I do have a little display over here on this side of the room, and there's some of the pictures that we just couldn't put them all up. And Lou Fries, who was like one of the major decorators in charge of decorations, she has a lovely little book there, photograph book with a lot of pictures from where she was. So, so I want to thank Janet, and I want to thank Miss Lynn over there. She's a miracle worker. It was just fun watching her put the pictures to the script. So thank you, Lynn. In 1992, Assistance League was researching ideas for a new fundraiser that could help us raise funds for our projects, and at the same time, give us more exposure to the St. Louis community. A few members, led by Brenda Todd, who is pictured here, traveled to Kansas City to attend the Gingerbread Village being held there. And after hearing about all the possibilities of this unique fundraiser, our membership excitedly voted to undertake the opportunity, and thus, Gingerbread Village St. Louis was born. I really was hoping that Brenda could be here today, but dedicated member that she is, she's up at Fantastic Finds doing the decorating. So, but if you see her, tell her we appreciate all she did. Gingerbread Village included a preview party, an auction, and a holiday display. It was a magical Christmas winter wonderland created and decorated by our members. And the village itself showcased gingerbread masterpieces from chefs, bakers, women, men, children, and our own members would also create celebrity houses to the auction. And if you look closely at that's the Charlie Spoonover house. The roof is made with spoons. Everybody got really creative when they have, and with those houses, sometimes you get an autographed picture, ball, jersey. There was always another little treat with the house. Decorating the space began September 1st, and there was a standing ovation, it should have been ovation, invitation to come and work anytime you had free. The trees needed to be fluffed, and this particular lady fluffing was a past president named Carmen Kroll, who was a wonderful, wonderful woman. Sadly, she's passed away, but the year that she became president, I think it was like, she took over in June, I think in July she broke her ankle. So she was in a wheelchair there. Just wanted people to see how dedicated our members were back then. And she got to everything. Her husband was really good about driving her around until she could finally get to drive again. One of the biggest challenges, besides decorations being constructed and painting needed to be done, and after they fluffed the trees, they had to string the lights. But that was one of the biggest challenges, because the number of extension cords that had to be used created an electrician's nightmare. And before we could open up, Chesterfield Fire Department had to be contacted and come out and check all the little plug-ins. But somehow we did. In the 10 years of existence, we were in 4 different empty stores in Chesterfield Mall that they had generously donated for our use. every year there would be different challenges, especially with the decorating. The first year, a darling cobblestone path led up to a house, and that was made from sliced day-old bagels. Well, one morning the first shift came in and decided, ooh, we had a little party here with some uninvited guests. The mall mice were so of course we had to take those out and find another way to. And then another year later, or so, we had an unplanned waterfall from broken pipes of a restaurant up above our store. Yeah. A few of the houses needed to be rehabbed a little bit from that, but the water and mess was cleaned up and the show went on. In the last year, and Karen was reminding me, Karen Castellano, many of you know her, she does flowers up at Fantastic Finds, that they were halfway through, or just about through with the decorating, and the mall repairman had to come in, tear out a ceiling, make repairs, drywall, paint, but they did get out in time for us to open up. So after the village was decorated, the bakers would be arriving, and as you can see, they were so proud of their creations. I know, they just, if you get a chance, there's a lot more pictures over on those tables over there that you can see. You really can't explain how wonderful, creative that they were. And remember, we did this for 10 years and we kept getting these. They were just every year more fantastic. We heard a few horror stories in their transporting the houses. Like 4 or 5 guys would be in the back of the van holding in case they hit a bump or something and would knock a part of it off. When the bakers had all their houses in there, then they would be judged, and prizes for entries were awarded in the professional category, and then there was a People's Choice Award also. The preview party and auction then of the houses was the next thing that took place. And there always seemed to be one house that everybody wanted, so we have some nice bidding on that. The preview party was held at the mall for most of the years. It was a challenging act, waiting for the stores to close and then setting up an auction and the dinner. But our members always rose to the occasion. I don't think I ever heard the words, I don't think we can do this. We just always said, well, we'll do this. One year it was raining so hard, we didn't think anybody would be able to get into the mall. And the only covered parking was at Dillard's. And that was at the other end of where we were with our preview party. In this picture, we have our gingerbread woman, which is Lisa Oviatt, and she did her part in helping spread the news about Gingerbread Village. And we had coverage at with many radio stations, and Dave Murray was still here. We had fought with him. And then our favorites, Art Holiday and Jennifer Bloom. Now, I don't know how many of you remember that show. It would go on at 7 o'clock in the morning, so you can imagine what time we had to get up and get down there. Of course, we always made the best of it, because afterwards we'd go to breakfast somewhere and have a great time. Another year, we had students from Wahlberg Elementary School perform for us at the gala. And their sweet voices, singing these Christmas songs, it just puts you in the right mood for everything. And we had provided a bus for them to be there, but oops, we didn't think about them being there at dinner time. These kids were singing for their supper. Some of our members ran out though, and they came back with happy meals for all. The day after Thanksgiving, the village would open to the public. So we would have preschool groups, scout troops, brownies, daycares, and seniors and mall visitors would arrive. And there was nothing more heartwarming than to watch these little people arriving and then seeing them standing in awe of this magical Christmas wonderland. We had an arts and craft table where there would be some activity where the children could make paper ornaments or cut out gingerbread men. and that was a favorite part of the Gingerbread Village for the little ones. When I was looking through all these pictures and spotted this one, I thought, oh my gosh, that little guy sitting on Jane Olexi's lap is my 22-year-old college senior grandson. And the little blonde girl at the other end, I think that's Judy Schoonover, is my 26-year-old granddaughter that was just married a couple weeks ago. Time flies. The Gingerbread House story was really a popular activity for the children too. And they'd gather around the faux fireplace. You could tell that the storytellers enjoyed the activity as much as the children did. I know Karen Castellano and her father built one of those houses, right? Or not the house, faux fireplace. Yeah. We'd bring everybody in that had any talent at all, to help us in any way. The talking tree was another favorite activity. And the tree was set up, and then there was curtains, so you weren't really, behind a wall, and you could see what was going on out there. And so, who was telling me that was Diana Tate. Well, you like doing that, yeah. But talking to the kids and, oh, hey, Johnny, what are you doing for Christmas? And Rosie Saladin told me that there was one child that they could hardly pull away. He wanted to stay there and just talk to the tree. Another thing that the pals did for us would be to set up model trains around the only problem there was the trains could only run for a short period of time because their little wheels would pick up the snow cotton and get all clogged up. And you have to turn it off, clean it up, and start over again. We had a beautiful boutique selling Christmas items. And some of the items were brought from Primetime Treasures. And we also had some Christmas cards created from pictures of a couple of the different houses. And they're over there on that table also if you get a chance to go look at them. Always thinking of some way to make a little more money. The complete village sat up in an empty storefront at Chesterfield Mall, and the first year we were open 14 days. And then after that, it was 21 days. Of course, that wasn't a very busy time in everybody's lives, but I don't ever remember anybody complaining. You just did it. But we had 9 members working a morning shift from 9:45 to 3:45, and then the next shift would come in from 3:30 to 8:45. And that last shift would have to close out the books and everything, and then they'd have to drive across the parkway and make a deposit for the night. I know none of us would do that today, but we didn't think anything about it at the time. I mentioned before, we had to move to 4 different locations over the 10 years, and that would be quite a job. We'd always pull in the pals to help us do that when we could. And also, I need to give a big shout out to Darcy Elsperman and her husband Bob. He would provide a truck on occasion if we didn't have, if Chesterfield Mall didn't provide us a spot to store this stuff, he would store it in a truck for us for the rest of the year. Yeah, very, very kind. Our first year in existence, our profit was $22,000. We were so excited. 10 years later, we had a profit of $77,000. In 1995 and 96, we were over the moon. The auction of houses posted a record $25,000. Gingerbread Village through the years became a favorite destination, and I don't know, I don't have a number of people, but it was thousands of people that would go through that. Wherever we were, they would find us in the mall. We, the members, all felt that Gingerbread Village was a success before we opened the doors, and it was also a true labor of love that put the fun in fundraising. Yeah, everybody would have their little groups that they could count on to work the shift really, I don't remember, of course, I don't remember a lot, but I don't remember anybody complaining during that time. We all love Gingerbread Village. And that, I'm sorry to say, is my report on Gingerbread Village. There's so much more. And at this time, I would like anybody that worked on Gingerbread Village or was a member at that time, please stand up. I can get some